Good evening everyone, and welcome to another update for Elite Encounters. This update is on the 11th of April 2016. Guys in chat, I know I said I wasn't going to be interacting much, but you can just let me know that things are broadcasting okay. That would be awesome, because I can't seem to get anything coming up on my computer that says it's up and running. But I'm getting everything runs okay here, so that's fine. But, let's carry on. Okay, I had a bit of an issue with the update email this week. I thought I'd sent it, but I'd actually just saved it as a draft, and it hadn't sent it out. So I apologise for that. Apologise for the short notice putting it out, but not all that worried about it, to be honest with you, for reasons that will become apparent. This is going to be possibly quite a controversial, possibly slightly lengthier update than normal, because there's a lot to cover. Not all of it good. So that's the slightly modified itinerary for this week, or for this week's update. We shall cover that as we go. I'm not going to go into it now, because I'll cover it as normal during the course of the update. So, progress this week. We did another online playtest after last week's update online, which all seemed to go rather well. It seemed to tick all the boxes for what we were trying to actually achieve with it, and I'm quite happy that the system is working. So the miniatures rules side of things, the vehicle combat system that's going to go into the RPG, seems to be all good. So the writing up of all that is carrying on apace, a lot slower than I was expecting it to be, because there's quite a lot of actual rewriting that's going into it, because the rules that are actually on the website, or on the living document if you like, it's a very rough and ready document, as has been pointed out by certain people. So it is needing to be expanded quite thoroughly. At the moment, I'm only a third of the way through it, and it's already like 20 odd pages. So there's quite a lot to get done. But it is running well, and I think the structure is pretty good. It seems to hold together logically. I've used some other gaming systems as a sort of guide to how the book should be laid out, content-wise, and what order it should be written in. So I'm fairly confident that it should be readable enough for people to be able to use easily enough. Okay. So it was pointed out through a couple of comments this week that I neglected to let people know what the actual release date was, kind of live and in writing. I have put it into a couple of videos, as you saw at the start of this stream, but never actually wrote it into an update. So I have done that now. It is now in the PDF. So there you go. Anyone who hasn't been bothered to watch any videos, because obviously it's far too difficult to watch videos, isn't it? There it is in writing, and that will be in the PDF file that will be uploaded to the website after the broadcast has completed. So you should now have the release date. Okay, as I say, last week we playtested the game again, did another playtest with Colin live online so everyone could watch and criticise, which no one did criticise actually. It seemed to go down quite popularly, if that's even a word. It seemed to work quite well. The feedback we got from people on chat and afterwards was very, very positive indeed, which I'm very happy with. So Colin and I are both very, very satisfied with what we've done, and we want to have a couple of things really to test and just make sure they work. So we have another one sorted out. The stat changes that we implemented last week did work very, very well, and they've all been implemented into the rule set and are being written into the full rules. Yay! So we have a few things to still test. Some methods to generate crew stats, because we didn't have that before. This is what's really going into the main kind of rule book, as it were, is we're going to have multiple methods to generate crew stats, because at the moment there weren't any. We were just using pre-generated stuff or just making them up. But we now have, I think there's 4 different methods to actually generate your crew stats. We have some samples, just basically standard ones that an RPG player could use just to quickly generate a crew stat list. We have a dice-based method of doing it, and we have a points-based method of doing it, as well as just making it up as you go along. So there's your 4 methods. Reiterating again there, I've duplicated a few things on this, I notice, but yeah, the RPG write-up continues and everything goes in, and we're proceeding slower than hoped, but hopefully fast enough to meet the deadline that we've got. We've only got a few weeks left to get the writing done, as well as getting it sent off for editing and proofing, which is kind of starting to panic me a little. So yeah, we've got all that. So we did intend that tonight's sort of main stream, the Monday night stream for Selezen Plays, was going to be a playtest again, but Colin's not available this evening through family commitments, which strike us all on a regular occurrence. So we've moved it to tomorrow night. So tomorrow 8 PM we'll be doing another live playtest where we're going to polish up some of the last little bits of rules, such as obstacles, cover, that kind of thing, and just make sure we've got everything working fine. So that'll be on twitch.tv/Selezen. If you're watching this on YouTube, then pop onto that at 8 o'clock on Tuesday and we'll do all that stuff. Feedback and questions. This week has been a fairly big week for feedback. It all kicked off in a kind of literal sense because I noted that quite a lot of the Elite Encounters update videos on YouTube had got some dislikes, and I have asked people in the past to look at these things to, if you're going to do a like or a dislike, then please make a comment as well, just to say why you've done that, what you liked, what you didn't like, and all that kind of stuff. So that's not happening. So disliking something or showing that you like or dislike a particular thing isn't particularly constructive if you don't leave any sort of reason why, which is one of the reasons why I'm not overly fond of things like buttons and dislike buttons on things. I think there should always be some kind of constructive criticism, whether it be positive or negative. So yeah, I put a comment onto the Kickstarter comments, basically just asking people on there that if they had an issue with anything that was in the video, to kind of let me know what that was, and then if it was an issue with the actual game or the system, or what had been said about the game or the system, then it would be handy to know that. Then I can sort of look at addressing that, or at least respond to the person and either allay their fears or see what they've got to say. And if it's something that's constructive and helpful, then obviously it's something I would consider implementing or acting on. So that's particularly why I did that. But essentially the comments that came back from that post were essentially the same sort of stuff that I've had before. Videos suck because apparently no one has time to watch videos or the ability to watch videos. They would rather sit for 20 minutes and read something. Lack of dice rings sucks. I suck. And when's the release date? Again, the release date thing is I've hopefully covered in the earlier thing. So quite a lot of negativity, a lot of criticism about the videos again. And someone essentially saying that, okay, well, not even sort of signifying the fact that, yeah, you've got a release date, thank you for the release date, but no, right now you've got a release date, where's all the dice rings going to be? Well, I can work on one thing at a time. I can work on getting the book finished and out, which is what everyone seems to be clamouring for, or I can start posting shit out. Now I know things are way behind, I know things are not going out as they planned. I've addressed the reasons why those things are happening, and I've addressed that on several occasions, and I'm not going to go over it and over it and over it, as I've said. Things will get done in a particular order. They will happen. Everything will get done that has been promised. Because quite frankly, you know, I'm not going to not send you out dice, because I've got boxes and boxes of dice lying around this office that I need to get rid of. They're taking up my space. Your shit's taking up my space, basically. A friend of mine at work said that, so I've kind of nicked it for this evening. But yeah, so a lot of negativity. I mean, every comment that came on there was negative. There wasn't anything that was positive about anything. And that tends to be the case with Kickstarter at the moment, is there doesn't seem to be a lot of positivity in the world at all. The vocal minority seems to be the negative ones. There'll be a few likes, and the occasion. I mean, I get the occasional comment from 3 or 4 kind of core people in the Kickstarter who say, "Yep, that's fine. Looks like it's going well. We're happy to wait. That's okay. As long as it's going to come out and as long as it's going to be quality, then we don't mind." And that's obviously what I'm trying to aim for, is the quality aspect of the thing and making sure that everything works. Because you know what, even if it goes out and it's blank sheets of A4 paper with black writing on it, as long as it works, then that's half the battle. I can do something other than that. It won't be, because obviously there's quite a lot of design effort has gone into this as well. And we'll see what you think when it's done. Not everyone's going to like it. I have no doubt that I'll get complaints or criticism about it when it comes out, because that just seems to be the nature of people these days. So yeah, you're probably detecting the fact that I'm a little wound up. So yes, I am. I've been quite wound up by a few things this week. So dice rings, yes, as the nameless person who commented about the dice rings wanted to know, the dice rings, as well as everything else, will be processed with other deliveries, including the Elite dice and any giveaway stuff that's been done over the last year or so, will be processed once the writing is finished, because I am up against a tight deadline that at the moment I am doubting I'm going to meet fully. There are possibly going to have to be compromises that I'm going to make that I'm not going to enjoy doing, so I'm not going to compromise it further by focusing on something else. Okay, this brings us to the bit of stuff that you're not going to like. In light of a lot of the comments that have been received, I am not going to do any more Kickstarter updates until the project is finished and the writing is finished and the book is away for editing. Why? Because as I've touched on earlier, wait a minute, I just need to move something. The continual negativity and the critical attitudes is just something I don't need right now. I need to be able to get on with this stuff, keep my head clear, keep my head in a positive workspace, keep myself motivated, and every time I reach out to the Kickstarter community I get a whole raft of negativity, which, to be quite honest, given the history that I've had with this project, I kind of thought better of you guys. I thought you would be a little bit more supportive, but clearly not. I know it's dragged on, I've acknowledged the fact that it's dragged on, I've acknowledged that there are things that haven't been done at this stage, and I'm sick of you harping on about it, to be quite honest. So every time I open my mouth about something at the moment, I just seem to get this raft of "fuck you, Dave." So I'm not doing it anymore. You don't like the way I do the updates? That's fine, that's your choice. Stop harping on about it. The reason I do video updates is because it's quicker, it's more convenient for me. It means that I have more time to concentrate on doing the book and more time to concentrate on getting everything written up to the way that you want it done, to concentrate on quality control, to concentrate on content control, and make sure that I'm going to get this thing finished. So basically, you know, there's not a lot of point in me carrying on this one-way communication, especially when 90% of people don't actually make any comment whatsoever about it, and there are sort of like 2 people who do something positive about it in a month, as it is. The occasional thumbs up, which I appreciate you guys who are being positive. I appreciate it very much that you're doing that, but you know, I'm not going to open myself up to this abuse anymore, because it's not productive and it's not constructive. It doesn't help me, it doesn't help you. So I'm disengaging from the Kickstarter for the time being. I'm going to focus on getting the book done, make sure that I'm keeping a positive mental attitude and making sure that my productivity is as much as it can be, which means that I will regain the time that is spent preparing for this stream and preparing for this update and preparing the PDF, which, as I've said, isn't all that much an amount of time, but I kind of worked out that I do spend quite a lot of time from sort of Friday onwards kind of thinking about what I'm going to put into it, and you know, no 2 ways that I'll look at it. Is it going to be something that's going to help my productivity? If I spend any amount of time actually doing something with it or thinking about this thing, then it's time I'm not spending thinking about getting the book written. So for the time being, in order to get the next couple of months clear and as much productivity as possible, and to stop me from succumbing to the negativity and all the stuff that gets said on these Kickstarter updates or the comments forum, I'm off. Okay. Yeah, so as I say, not going to be doing any more updates until the project's finished. I'll still be around. If you have anything you want to ask that is not critical and not thingy, then feel free. Right, you know what, I'm going to close the chat down because the chat's just fucked me off. Not in the mood for this shit today, guys. So yeah, so that's it then. And yes, I'll still be playing games for 2 hours in the Monday night streams because that's the only time I get off. So yeah, live with it. I have a break once a week. I spend most of my day thinking about this bloody book. Through lunch times at work I do work on it. Through actual work time I'm thinking about it. So you know, it's distracting me. I need to get it started, I need to get it out of the way, and I need to get it finished. And if the only way I can do that is by doing this kind of stuff, then that's the way it is. Okay, so the outstanding stuff to get done, as I say before, the dice and dice runs will probably take priority. So once I get the book done and sent off, and other people are looking at it to try and criticise it, basically, then the dice and dice rings and stuff will get sent out and posted and so on. The Kickstarter rewards, like the card model kits and other things that are in there, like drawings and so on, will get done after the book is released, and then from there I'll start looking at the other things that need to go out. At that point I'll probably start doing something that someone suggested, which I've started to kind of do anyway, which is do one of these charts that shows the progress of how things are going. So once the primary thing is done, once the book is out there, then I'll start focusing on the other stuff, and you'll get sort of consistent updates on when that's going to happen. Okay. The release model, this is the other announcement. There may be a need to do a sort of staggered release. So the initial release will probably be the EPUBs and the Mobi. That's supposed to be Mobi, not Mobu. So that's EPUB and Kindle will be released first, because they will require less layout gubbins and will be saved and modified as a separate source file to be uploaded into that format. The PDF, which will be the full graphic-y, gory, lovely, jubbly formatted document, which will look like a proper book, will be released after that, once that has been formatted and approved. And then once we've got some time with the PDF out there for people to sort of report on problems or issues or spelling mistakes or formatting mistakes or anything like that, then we'll start looking at getting the hard copies produced at that point. All versions will be updated in line with each other as stuff like that is brought in, so that will be managed ad hoc when it comes. So upcoming events. I hope you've not all been too disappointed by that. As we get closer to the release, I'm starting to realise the shape this thing's going to take, so hopefully that will not come as too much of a surprise. As I said, at this point in time, if you have any constructive criticism, then by all means feel free to engage me in a dialogue. But if all you're going to do is complain about stuff, then quite frankly at this point I'm not really that bothered about it, and I don't really want to hear it at this stage. Anything that will help me get this book done quicker or more efficiently or whatever, if you have that kind of idea, then feel free. If you want to help. If you don't want to help, shut up. Okay, upcoming events. There's been a bit of a development this week. I got kind of dragged into a conversation. Well, not dragged as such into a conversation, but pulled into a conversation on Facebook with a couple of guys. So one of the upcoming events there are LaveCon in July, as you all know about, and Fantasticon in November, which you know about. Also in August in the US, in Rhode Island to be exact, there's a thing called TempleCon happening over the 4-day period, August 25th to 28th. I've been speaking to one of the guys who organises this con, and they are quite keen to bring in some elite stuff for the first time at their con. Now, they sort of deal with like 5,000 people through this con. I'm not entirely sure if that's every day across the 4-day period or in total through the 4-day period, but 5,000 people is not to be sniffed at, and especially if it's in the States, which is where obviously Frontier and obviously myself want to get Elite and Elite Dangerous and Elite Encounters kind of in the knowledge of people that's out there. So hopefully we can get that sorted out. What they want to do is something that's quite unique. They want to run the Elite Dangerous game as a tutorial session, so like a complete role-playing scenario through the Elite Dangerous initially to get people trained up on how to fly the ships, and then that'll kickstart a narrative, which will then continue through the RPG, which will then continue through into the sort of vehicle combat simulation rules as well. So that's quite exciting, because I don't think anyone's actually done that before, and especially given the fact that the RPG hasn't really been on a big release. It could be the first time that kind of thing gets done, depending on what happens at LaveCon in July, which is kind of the thing we're hoping to do on that, but actually without Elite Dangerous itself being involved at the start. So TempleCon might be the first place where Elite Dangerous and Elite Encounters kind of get run simultaneously as a kind of ongoing thing, which is pretty cool. So I quite like that. That would be quite awesome. Yeah, so that's that, I think. Next update will be, well, when the book's ready for approval and the writing is done and sent off, then I will do an update to let you know how things are going. It will be a video update, because this is the way I do updates, so get used to it. But I may, as it's the first time back, do a little bit of a main text update as well, just to keep people happy. I usually say if you've got any questions or anything, get in touch, but at the moment I don't want you to. I want you to leave me alone to get on with this book and get it finished. If you have anything you want to suggest, as I said before, then feel free to get in touch just to sort of let me know that, you know, something, I don't know. But if it's a complaint or a criticism or anything like that, then please can you keep it to yourself until I get the book out. If you have any concerns, I don't know what to tell you. Just trust me. You've trusted me this long, trust me for a bit longer, and you'll see the book, and then obviously we can address any issues that you may have with it at that point in time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the flip side. Take care, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed the update and it hasn't upset you or pissed you off too much. Take care, guys, and I do love you. Just, you know, back off for a bit, please. Thank you. Bye.
Thrusters. Boosting now.